Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool, and I love stubby screwdrivers. And Klein has got this guy here, which is the Klein 32308. It is a 8-in-1 adjustable stubby screwdriver. It has a 6-bit carousel sticking out the back, and then it has an adjustable length bit, in fact removable, so you can use some other things I'll show you in a sec. But anyway, this guy here is the standard Klein kind of acetate or plastic gold yellow insides with the black rubbery outside that gives it a really good grip but a classic look. It says 8-in-1 stubby on the back. This thing here uses a release mechanism. You can see right here on the collar that allows the accompanying or included screwdriver bit or screwdriver holder to slide in and out from its lowest point here, which compares. Here's the snap-on. You can see that it's a little bit shorter. Here's the standard kind of common multi-stubby that Klein makes with a bit driver that pops out, so you can see how that lines up. So it's still a stubby. Here's a PB Swiss. There's a Weehaw with a bit in it. You can see it's a little on the long side, but then given that it has these extra features, still might be handy. So what do we got? Well, first of all, we have got a bit carousel in the back. It just pops up, doesn't do anything fancy like the others, just spins around. There are 6 bits in here. It comes with a 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, and 2 of the Phillips, a 3/16 and 1/4 inch of the slotted, and a couple of squares, a number 1 and a number 2. And then, of course, you can also use it as the standard 1/4 inch bit driver. So it's got those things going for it. It has a multi-position, you can see here. So 3 different positions there. It's not very expensive. This was about 15 bucks, 14 and change, whereas something like this was about 10. That just has the reversible side. It uses these stubby bits, and that leads me to kind of say this thing here is a 1/4 inch from perfection. Why? Because here are the 2 bits. This is the stubby bit and then a standard bit. So if I open this guy up, you can see I'm looking at about 3/4 of an inch here for the stubby. And then if I go to the full-size bits, a lot of these are about an inch. And if they're an inch long, if this bit carousel accepted an inch-long bits, like all of these others, here's the PB Swiss, it accepts an inch long, and that's even a smaller version, of a stubby there. Here's the Vera. You can see it accepts an inch. Here's the Weehaw. Pops all the way out, accepts an inch. This doesn't. It accepts these short bits, which are common, like if you've got this Klein Tools, kind of a finger ratchet, low profile thing. This doesn't need to be that low a profile. So I could easily drop in a full-size bit here, pull one out of this. There's no problem. But I'm missing the ability to store this bit by just a hair, by a 1/4 inch to be specific. And the problem there is if I lose a bit or I want to swap it out, let's say I want Torx in there because there are no Torx, or some hexes, I can't. So I'm limited. But it does have on the up front great ability to turn this into a stubby plus. I've got several different versions of, or several different positions I can put it in. If I drop something else in, like one of these Speed Milwaukees here, there's a bit of play, but if I drop it any further, this just spins freely. Why? Because it only grabs right here, and that's a problem. However, I can easily grab all kinds of other bits. Here I've got a Mulwark 5/16 hex. So it does have a lot of potential. But unfortunately, when I go back to its initial design, you know, the thing that really is a problem is the stubby bit set. It just should be a 1/4 inch bigger. And then, in fact, if you look at how far down that goes, it only goes to about here. There was plenty of room to buy that 1/4 inch, you know, because PB Swiss manages to do it in a much smaller form factor. So does Vera. You know, if you look at that, that's a shorter line there. And then if I go back to my Weha or Viha, you can see it's also shorter. So Klein could have easily done that. I'm sure they've got some engineer that's just dead set on using these stubby bits and thinks that's critical. But since you can't drop it in here easily and use it, you know, it just, I'm going to end up getting it stuck in here. This isn't what it's designed for. So as far as being a super stubby, it's not. So they might as well have gone for the full 1 inch bit. In fact, if you look at this, look at how far this bit goes in. It goes to that mark right there. So what do they have in here? A lot of extra space. I mean, they don't need that big a magnet to hold it on. You know, and then if you look on this end, so they probably just stuck it way in there. There's room for improvement. They could really make this a top-notch #1 go-to stubby, but instead they use some of their traditional shortcuts in thinking, and that's what they ended up with. However, as long as you have these stubby bits, it's great. So with that, Doc out.